Hey, what's up, guys? Quick update here from BSG TruckFan88. I'm not going to go into it right now, but let's just say I have the next few days off of work and we'll figure out what's going on by Monday. But I figured I would use the past 36 hours or so to do something to take my mind off of recent events. Um, Part of which is my fault, part of which is not my fault. But again, I'll get into that when things are said and done on Monday regarding my job. And recently, I said to myself, okay, I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 88, so I grew up in the mid to late 90s into 2000s. What's one of the things, to put it simply, that I may or may not have missed out on? And there are a few things that I missed out on that I had the opportunity to revisit, and Harry Potter is one of them. Let me be completely honest with you. Number one, right now, given recent events, had a few drinks, whatever, not that bad. Not like your average person going to a bar, but anyway, Harry Potter. I never read the books. I actually did read the first book. Do I remember it that much? No, because did I finish it? Yes. It was kind of read in the background. My parents got it for me, or my mother got it for me. Um, when it came out, I wasn't really a fan. Again, I'm more of a science fiction action fan. I'm not really a wizard or magic fan. And to be honest with you, when Lord of the Rings first came out, now I know it and appreciate it for what it is, but I wasn't a mythological fan. I wasn't a fan of the type of film or genre that Lord of the Rings is set in. But anyway, that's a different story. So Harry Potter, I read the first book. I did actually see the first film in theaters. I remember going to see it when I was a kid as a family in theaters. To be honest with you, I don't remember liking it. I don't remember not liking it. I just remember going to see it with the family. Saw the second one. I believe I did see the third one. And yes, I know the actual titles, but just for simplistic purposes, I want to keep this video under 10 minutes here. Long story short, I did end up seeing all of the films in theaters except the second to last, or part one, the third to last, and the fourth to last. The others I did see in theaters. The other three/four I saw on at home on pay-per-view, DVD rental, download. You never know. So, you know, everybody that I know, or a lot of people that I know, love Harry Potter for what it is, whether it's the books or the films. And me being a film enthusiast, I like Harry Potter in the sense that I know that it represents a good portion of friends that I know that say, the movies are great, the special effect. It's not like it's for one type of audience. Anybody can sit down and watch it and appreciate it for certain elements that it has. And I said, okay, well, I know of Harry Potter. I'm not blind. I'm not stupid. I'm not arrogant like some people that refuse to watch the series. So, for the past day and a half, pretty much, I have sat down and watched all 8 Harry Potter films in a row. A couple of bits I skipped, like I watched the first one because I only saw it in theaters once, and I only saw pretty much. Now that I think of it, every film I have only seen once. Um, Period. Like first viewing. So I've rewatched the entire. You can't call it a trilogy. You gotta call it a series. And you know what? It is a great series. Is it for everybody? No. You really have to appreciate the films for what they are, based on what their genre is and where it goes. Not everybody appreciates magic and fantasy. But you know what? For those that do, this series is amazing. Part of it is childhood, because I do remember being a child, a kid, watching the first Harry Potter. The music, the atmosphere, the actors themselves. I mean, that's one of the great things about this series is literally you get to grow up with these characters, and I didn't. can't seem, well, you know, I didn't do that. I know a lot of people that did, so I respect that. It's kind of like Toy Story. You know, Toy Story for me is the series that I grew up with. You know, I vividly remember seeing it in theaters more than once. I remember wholeheartedly the second film, and of course, I remember the third film, which came out a few years ago. And I regard Toy Story personally as the series of my childhood. You know, every generation, I think, of late has a movie trilogy or series or just set of films that they associate their youth with. And for me, I would have to narrow it down to Toy Story. Some people it's Back to the Future, some people it's the original three Star Wars films. To me, it's Toy Story, and to others, it's the Harry Potter series. Even though it's 8 films over the course of 10 years, which is kind of cheating, but what, you know, I'm kidding. Whatever. So, you know, between the music and the special effects and the fact that throughout these 8 films, you go back and you revisit set pieces. You revisit Hogwarts, you know, Hogwarts Express, the classrooms, the teachers. I mean, there are very few films that you can say that you can revisit these places and people and things and the atmosphere that many times. I mean, 8 movies, come on. You know, I remember watching the first 4 films going, all right, we're back at Hogwarts, yay, woo. And then the last 4, it's like, okay, we're back at... And of course, you know, the film doesn't... The series evolves, you know, the first few films really focuses on, you know, our trio, you know, Harry, Hermione, and etc., you know, going to school, classes, they're wizards or witches, etc. And then later on in the series, you know, the plot really takes hold and kind of separates. I mean, in the last 3 films, Hogwarts isn't really about classes. It's about what's happening, the plot, which is fine. But anyway, after sitting down and watching these 8 great movies, I mean, there are some that are better. There are some that are not necessarily better acted. I mean, I'm not someone to speak to this. I mean, Terminator, Star Trek, Star Wars, okay, fine. Harry Potter, there are plenty of other fans out there that exist that I know personally and beyond, i.e. the internet, that can speak to Harry Potter way better than I. Again, I did not read the books except the first. I'm not the predominant know-how on this. I'm just talking about my personal experience here. The films are great. Every single one of them, all 8 of them, have their own unique style and way that they present the material to you. I especially personally like the fact that, you know, John Williams, who, say what you want about him, and I have love for the guy, and a little bit of about him, but, you know, he conducted the first 3 movies, their soundtrack. And you can always tell a John Williams score, no matter what movie it is. But after that, and of course you have different directors as well. You know, Chris Columbus, I believe, did the first 2 films, and then you know, different directors followed suit. I like how every film has its own unique visual style, audio style, soundtrack style, etc. But of course, you know, I'm 25 now. The first Harry Potter came out in 2001. That's what, 12 years ago? And when the final film came out, it was 2011, so 10 years ago. I mean, say what you want, you know, you can grow up with these films. And I feel privileged to have been alive growing up with these films, like with Toy Story, where I can say to myself, you know, I saw these films back when they came out when I was a kid. And what struck me as odd, again, I only saw the films once when they first came out. So, you know, people vary in the sense of what they realize. You know, to be honest, I wasn't that into the series. I never read the books. I wasn't paying attention 100%. I saw it as a film. I saw it as a film like I see all the time. And, you know, after rewatching the series by myself in my man cave here, you pick up on things. I mean, you pick up on, you know, things that you love. Like, I love how the same people do the same things over and over again. Like, Neville is always the scared shy guy, and of course he saves the fucking day in the end. I forget his name, but it's the kid that every time he tries to cast a spell, he blows his face up. I mean, that's fucking priceless. That's hysterical. And the fact that they carry it over through all 8 films, that's awesome. Of course, the Hermione and Ron, they get together eventually, etc. I'm not going to talk about that, but, the first few films, the main baddie, if you will, he who shall not be named, is established but not really gone through. There's other shit that you need to get through. But the last 5 films, you build up to this climactic final between Harry and Voldemort, and it pays off in spades. But anyway, I just want to talk about me personally watching this series, because I had time to kill, literally. I can understand, appreciate, and respect being a Star Trek fan. Everybody has their love for a certain series or movie, trilogy or series, whatever. I honor and respect Harry Potter fans. Am I a diehard Harry Potter fan? No. But I like the Harry Potter series. I always have, even before sitting down tonight. But my main purpose or goal of sitting down tonight was really paying attention this time and paying attention to the story and the characters. And do I understand everything? No. I'm sure there are many people that do, that have read the books, that have seen the movies 4 or 5 times over, like I have with the Star Trek movies, all 11 of them, soon to be 12. Woo-hoo. But speaking from somebody who watched the series as a film enthusiast, again, I really respect and appreciate the series for what it is. It's really, excuse me, it's late here. It's really hard to describe how I feel about it, because I'm not a true Harry Potter die-hard fan. The acting, the cinematography, the directing, the soundtrack, the score, everything about all 8 films is amazing. I mean, to give credit where credit is due. Again, like people who love Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Firefly, Farscape, Harry Potter will go down in history as one of those franchises, one of those series that will, well, to be honest, probably withstand the test of time. And to be someone who was alive, yeah, to be someone who grew up with the series and saw it firsthand on theaters, or in theaters, or at home. Proud is too much of a strong word, but I'm happy to be one of those people who had the ability to see this in the theaters on the big screen at first and at the very end. And yes, I did see the final Harry Potter with a packed audience at midnight, because I understood and appreciated the value that it had. So anyway, this is BSG Trek Fan 88 here for a simple, somewhat buzzed upload here. What are your comments? Are you Harry Potter fans? Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you see where I'm kind of coming from? Maybe you're like me, where you've seen just the movies and you haven't read the books. Are you someone who have read the books numerous times and have seen the movies and disagree with everything? Danger, Will Robinson, or do you agree with me? Anyway, BSG Trek Fan 88 here, signing out.